Carl Storer, welcome back to Nuneaton Borough. Tell us a little bit about how this deal has come about.
The deal's come about, obviously, relationship with Jimmy. We've had a good bond for a while now, obviously played with him previous. But something on my sort of football bucket list, if you like, was always to come back home, if you like, and not finish off my career, but to still be successful. And you know, they're on a good journey at this moment in time, and I want to be part of that journey.
Why now? Because obviously you're making the squad regularly at Solihull. They're in the top division of non-league football. Some would argue that this is a massive step down, even at 35 years old.
Yeah, listen, I can see that. I can see people's perspective on that. I feel the timing for me to move back home, and you know, we are part-time here. That allows me with my family life to do things. I've got other things going on in the background with coaching and businesses. So personally, it suits me, and obviously it suits the management here that, you know, I'll come on board ASAP. So I think it will be a good, you know, good marriage.
Is it, having had a long career in football, obviously, as you say, you started off in non-league and with Jimmy as well, and I remember that quite clearly. Is it a wrench to come back down the divisions and know that you're going to go to some dodgy grounds when you're probably used to going to Notts County? And you know.
There is that aspect of it. You know, my dream growing up was to play in the Football League, and you know, I achieved that dream. But it wasn't, when I got there, it wasn't Mecca. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't, you know, fantastic. I had some bad times. There's still some bad grounds in the Football League and stuff. But listen, I come from part-time football and non-league and building my way up, so it's nothing new to me. It's a mentality, it's a mental state. You know, and looking forward to this journey of helping people, helping the management, helping the players to develop that mental side of it and winning promotion, and that's, you know, that's key.
For those people that don't know Carl Storer, and we've got some younger fans and new fans as well that have come on board, I mean, we'll take you back. So Bedworth,
not too far.
Not too far. Playing at Bedworth, I mean, obviously you had some youth football at Leicester, Bedworth, Hinckley, Tamworth, Atherstone, sort of at the time when Nuneaton were reformed. That was a very competitive division with Leamington in there. Yeah. My little story there is I was reporting on an Atherstone game for BBC Country and Watchshire Radio, and Ian Neal, who was owner of the football club then, asked me to do a bit of scouting, and when I came back he said, what did you think of Carl Storer? And I said, well, not much really. So it shows you how much I know
just
about...
like my old man probably said that.
So it shows you how much I know about football, and I think a week later you were in Nuneaton's books, and you played for 3 years, and 3 happy years, I think.
No, I definitely enjoyed my time. Going back to the Atherstone period, I was actually had a deal set with Stevenage. I've virtually signed for Stevenage, but I had a bit of an injury with my knee. I think that come out in the open a little bit too close to sort of the deal being signed at Stevenage. They were in the National League at the time, or Vauxhall Conference at the time. And in the same day I had a trial with Barnet, done really well at Barnet. We were in League 2. Done really well there. They offered me a contract as well, but money in living in London wasn't great. And this knee injury, it kept on coming out to clubs every time I went on trial. How's your knee? How's your knee? I think, how people are hearing about this injury. It was just like a meniscus problem that you could manage, but obviously eventually you're going to need to deal with it. Anyway, Jimmy picked the phone up to me when no one else did. He said, look, just come down, train, see how it feels, and see where it takes you. And we trained. I think I trained for 3, 4, 5 weeks. Knee was fine. And he said, look, you know, come and help me, I'll help you. And we did it. He gave me a job off the back of it to subsidise my wages, because obviously the wages I was on at the time, and it worked wonders. But a part of my mind was, I knew Nuneaton and Leamington were in the league at the same time. My ambition was always to be a football player and be full time. And I was thinking to myself, if I can help Jimmy at the same time, maybe Nuneaton could come in for me or whatever. But listen, it was with Jimmy's blessing that I went to Nuneaton in the end. You know, it was, my time at Atherstone was great. I enjoyed it, but I knew Nuneaton could take me to that next level of my playing career, and with his blessing I went. We actually played Atherstone, and it was 2-2 down here. I can remember Tom Bates scoring an unbelievable free kick.
That's right, yeah.
But you know, first joining Nuneaton, if I'm honest with you, it was we were a big club in that league, but it was all over the place. Everyone, you know, we're just expected to win all the time, and we had a lot of characters in that dressing room, you know, like we have here now. But it's a mental state to get you over the line. We needed the right people to get through the door and to get you over the line, and we did that. I enjoyed my time. It was brilliant. I think I left on a bit of a cloud, and it wasn't great. And
we'll talk about it in a minute, because I can remember thinking after Ian Neal had said to me, "What did you think of Carl? You watched him, and you know, me being so wide of the mark." And then when you did play, and I'd be reporting on it, I was thinking, if we can keep Carl on the pitch, because you've got a bit of a reputation for being a bit hot-headed, we're going to win more games than we lose or draw. And so it proved. And then when you left, you went to Kidderminster. I think I think as a Nuneaton fan, it was a bit gut-wrenching, really.
Yeah, no, it was. Listen, I didn't really want to leave at the time. You know, where my mindset was and the club's mindset was, it was completely different. They offered me, I mean, I was working for Ian Neal at the time when I first joined. He gave me a job on his building site, and obviously playing, so the two wages combined was good. But I got to a stage where I thought, you know, I've had offers to go into the Football League, had offers to go full-time football also, and that's where I wanted to be. That's what I worked hard for. Unfortunately, Nuneaton at the time didn't want to go full-time. I thought I outlived it a little bit. I thought, you know, me scoring 20 odd goals in the Conference North, that's telling me something. You know, never have I been anywhere and I've scored 20 goals. So that level was comfortable for me. It was my next progression was to go off to Football League or the Conference. And yeah, and when I was to Kidderminster, I struck a deal with Steve Burr. Obviously, I played for England C when I was at Nuneaton, and he was the assistant manager there. So we sort of, you know, we agreed that when the season comes round, that they would be the club. But it was a difficult time because they were struggling financially, Kidderminster, and I believe Nuneaton struck a deal with Mansfield for me to go there. I didn't want to go to Mansfield. I already gentleman's agreement with Kidderminster, and left. And to get me there, it wasn't simple because they had no money to buy me. I didn't realise the option in my contract would keep me put, basically, and Nuneaton wasn't budging on that. So the only way it would get me out was, you know, take a bank loan out. So to get myself full time, I took my own bank loan out of 10,000.
And Nuneaton, really, as much as that, to buy yourself out your contract.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't want to go too far back into those things. You know, it is football. That happens all the time. And I remember because Nuneaton then went on through the divisions and went on top the National League at one point under Kev Woking, great side. You know, you'd have enjoyed that, I'm sure. But full-time football is what you wanted. And ironically, some years later, Nuneaton did go full-time, and I'm pretty sure I saw you in the office one day, and I'm thinking, is this what you want? Are you going to come back and go full-time with Nuneaton? And I don't know whether that had been offered to you. Yeah,
it got offered to me at that point. I mean, you know, the sums of money compared to what I was on at Kidderminster and virtually going on to Cheltenham and Wrexham, it was completely different. So there was something put towards me at that point. But where I wanted to go at that stage of my career, in my life, you know, I wanted to win the National League, I wanted to get into the Football League, and I knew deep down Nuneaton at that point couldn't take me there. You know, Kidderminster was fantastic for me. I was captain at 24 there, and ironically, Gaz Wild, obviously, he was the assistant manager at Redditch. He took me there as well, and I loved it there. And just to get to that full-time setup of day in, day out training. And it weren't just the football side, it's like we keep going to talk about the word mentality, to have that mental state, have that routine of being a football player. Every morning you're going to play football, whether it's your gym work, strength and conditioning, anything. I live and breathe it, do you know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to do, and I've enjoyed. So
that is going to be quite a hard transition. Anybody who stops, I remember, and the gaffer will tell you the same, as soon as you stop playing, you miss it, and it's never the same. I'm sure the gaffer will tell you, you know, managing's great, but it's not the same as playing, and you're going to go through that now over the next 2 or 3 years, aren't you, as your career starts to progress towards what, coaching, management?
Management and coaching. I've obviously done my A licence, so the coaching aspect's key, but for me it's still about playing. You know, I could have stayed around at Solihull and in the National League and got another year contract somewhere and played, and but like you said, the transition now of, obviously we're part-time, so we go back to mentality again of 3 days a week, so I still need to be looking after myself, because the key why I'm still playing is fitness. You know, I'm still playing at 35 because I've kept myself in shape. It's not, you know, I'm not neglecting my body. I'm enjoying my time and enjoying my free time, but you know, I've had that professionalism, and you know, there's been better players that come out of Nuneaton than me and around with ability wise, but my drive, my ambition, you know, my love for the game, and you know, my general fitness has kept me in the game.
And presumably your game has changed from those early days when I was watching you. You know, experience is worth a yard in football, isn't it? You know, to watch the game unfold and predict things that might happen, whereas perhaps you'd be the first to admit 10 years ago you'd have gone straight in, took someone out, and the next thing you're off the pitch, or you've done something to let them score. But now you're a much more considered player, I would say, a little bit more thoughtful maybe.
Yeah, no, listen, yeah, 100%. I mean, when I was here, you know, I had Mark Noon behind me, I could get on and do what I wanted to, and you know, I was only watching it clip the other day when we played Telford in the semi-final, and they had a chance at our end, and I'm on the halfway line. I'm thinking, how come on there? But now I'd be in front of the ball and that sort of stuff. But yeah, listen, you think about the game and you see things unfold a little bit quicker, and the game has changed in terms of putting tackles in. And you know, my dad only said to me that I've seen you now back out a couple, because I know if I go in for that, how I go in. And
the referees change as well. I mean, there were some things today. You've only got a little nick,
and you're off the pitch. I had one recently at Wrexham where clearly won the ball, and I'm off, and I'm thinking, how's that happened? And
doing your A licence, because I know when I did my coaching qualifications, it doesn't half improve your game as well, doesn't it? When you do the analysis, when you realise that technical side of the game, has that helped you at all with your game, doing the A licence?
Yeah, understanding what managers are actually they want. So, for example, so I'd go into, before I did my coaching, I'd go into sessions, and you know, managers they don't just put sessions on for no reason. It's the build up of the game. So that sort of stereotyping opposition, for example, periodisation. So on a Saturday we're playing, for example, Redditch today, so the build up from Tuesday to Thursday would be about Redditch, how we're going to play. Before I did my coaching badge, I wouldn't understand why we're doing certain things, but going in there now and understanding you're tapering your week for a particular opposition is massive for me. So I understand about the sessions, why we're doing this. This is their weakness, so we're working on their weakness, then we work on our strengths. And so yeah, it's helped massively to open my eyes up, and you know, taking, you know, listening to managers all the time and coaches,
and you'll bring some of that experience to this dressing room, because let's talk about that now. So this is, there's no doubt about it, this is a huge signing for any club at this level, particularly for Nuneaton. You know, you're a Nuneaton lad, everybody loves you, everyone will be delighted to see you back. You can probably have to fight for your place in the side, you know, because the team is winning, they're up there at the top. But good managers bring in good players to get us over the line and hopefully get us into the playoffs or beyond. And that's your job, presumably, when you come back into the squad and into the team. It's exciting for the fans, got to be exciting for you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, albeit being a you know, my local club, and you know, I've been here before. One of the reasons I'm here, because they're in a good place, and that's credit to Jimmy and all the staff where they've gotten, they're on a good, solid foot now. And you know, whether I'm here or not at this moment in time, you know, hopefully they get into the playoffs and go up, and I think they're on a good run. But yeah, listen, I'm not come here to sit on anything, or you know, I want to come here and I want to win, and I've always been about winning. It's my job, this is my livelihood. Do you know what I mean? Football's still my livelihood at 35. But all my experience I'm looking to bring and drag people with me, and you know, I want to win this league more than anyone else. It means everything to me. You know, you look back at your CV at the end of your career. Promotion. Yeah. You know, it's massive. Whether that's for me, then you know, if I put a CV in for a club where I'm going to be a management or a coach or wherever, you know, and they see that promotion, it's massive. And that's what we keep saying. Jimmy said to the players this morning about, you know, having a promotion on your CV. You know, if they go on to other clubs or into the football league, the first thing managers look at, has he been promoted? Has he been promoted? And that's that mentality that we need. And yeah, listen, I'm here to play and enjoy my time here, but first and foremost, it's about winning, and winning is everything, isn't it? So
what can we expect from the experience? I was going to say mature, even old.
Old, yeah.
I won't go there, but what can we expect? A guy who's going to pick a pass and spread the ball and save your energy and your legs, or what do we see here?
What did you see last time? You tell me.
When you were here at the club?
Yeah.
Very tenacious, full-blooded tackles, great free kicks. I can remember you scoring some blistering goals as well. Heart on sleeve. Yeah, a joy to watch. But there was always that fear that don't do that. Oh, he's sent off.
You'll probably get the same, Dave. If I'm honest with you, games. I think about the game, and I think if I don't play on the edge, you don't get Kyle Storer. You know, I like to think that my game's developed technically. You know, can pick a pass. You know, I like patterns of play. I like that side of it. I like you know, playing forward, breaking lines, etc. I like assisting, but I don't think you'll see too much similar. I've not scored enough goals since I've been at Solihull. My game has been, you know, as a 4, you're sitting, you're protecting your back 2. But you know, the leagues I've played in, you know, your number 10s, your number 8s are effective, so you know, you are more sort of aware of, okay, listen, you lot go and win the game and I'll protect here. But it's not just, you're not just a stopper, you're not just a protector. I like to think that where I play, we start the attacks off from me. I like to go and get it. I like to think I'm a playmaker. I go and get it. You know, play around the corners, but it's the other side of the game as well. Organisation, knowing where people need to be, not just my own role.
I was going to say, will players need to be on the, excuse the pun, but on the ball, because you're going to thread a ball through and they're going to have to read that pass, and maybe those lads haven't played at the level you've played at, or are just coming through. Yeah, some have. I mean, you've got some good players in
Listen,
I'll see the pass.
I played with Stenson before. He knows my wavelength, and you know, a couple of training sessions now with Luke Bembo. We've picked up that, you know, that ball, and that takes me back to people like Jez Murphy I played with. They know exactly when I get the ball what I'm going to do with it. That would just come. It don't matter. I've played at that level, and some might not have, and some will get there. But that's just a relationship you have with people. It's just as easy as like going out on the pitch, like, and saying to them, listen, in the first 5 minutes, I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to put it in between their 2 centre backs, so he knows what I'm doing. Do it for the first 5 minutes. And that might change later on in the game when they've dropped off. But it's just having that relationship with people and how you talk about football and building that bond. But yeah, you know, I'll be looking to help the team however Jimmy sees that fit.
And let's talk about Jimmy. Unusual situation. You know him from Atherstone. You've known him from round Nuneaton. Came into the club, and unfortunately on his CV he's got a relegation, which he took on the chin. He had to take that on the chin to get the job. He's struggled the first 12 months or so to off the pitch, because the club has been in a bit of a state financially. Now that you're here, what changes have you seen over the years? How different is the club under Jimmy Ginnelly, not just as the manager but as the owner?
You've got people in the door that are happy to be in the door, fans. I've seen faces I've not seen for years. Like even when my last year at the Nuneaton, people had gone, wasn't coming. There's a fun factor about the club again. There's an enjoyment. People, you know, want to stay behind and have a drink, or you have that element back in. It's a, you know, family community club, and he has brought that back. But that comes with success on the pitch. So unless you've got a winning side, that don't happen. So he's managed to get A right and B right, and that's only going to go one way, isn't it?
And especially, you know, we're Nuneaton people, in that as soon as I moved out of Nuneaton to South Warwickshire, you realise just how unique this place is and how different we are. It's a footballing town. I know that's an old cliche, but it doesn't exist where I have lived in Warwick and Stratford, and yes, they've got football teams, but it's not quite the same. No, you get an FA Cup game down here, as we saw, you know, over the years. It's going to be rammed. Playoff finals. You've played in them. 3,000 fans travelling. 900 at Lincoln. You know, that will follow the borough. It's massive, isn't it? This
is a massive club. I've not joined some Mickey Mouse club that's around the corner. And you know, when younger players we've got probably won't realise the stature of this club. You know, I remember when I played down Manor Park, it's 5,000-6,000. It's rammed. It's on you. Do you know what I mean? And why can't we have them days back? You know, if we get promotion, why can't we have them days back? It's a massive football.
And when you've played for some great clubs, as you say, and you took your chance and went into the Football League with Cheltenham. But if you get success here towards the end of your career, I mean, it really is a kiss the badge moment, isn't it? Because you know that your career is coming to an end. You know you're going to savour all of those moments, and if you can achieve them with your hometown club.
The best
it's
feeling.
Got to be the best feeling.
The best feeling. And
you'll never buy another drink again. Well, you don't anyway. But
to be fair, I met Jimmy the other week and I had to buy him 3 then. So,
but you wouldn't. You'd be out in Nuneaton, and the same with the other lads as well.
And just when we beat Chase Town and Chippenham in the playoff final, you know, I can remember going down the pubs, and it was the weekend, and it was absolutely heaving. And them feelings you got to save for the rest of your life. And people always say to me, "Where's the most you've enjoyed your football?" And I had the most success at Cheltenham. Don't get me wrong, you know. For the honours we won there and going to the Football League and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed my time at Solihull with, you know, a good dressing room there, and obviously come close twice. But when I look back at my career, where was I happiest the most? Where did I get the most enjoyment off the pitch, but enjoyed it on the pitch? and it was Nuneaton, you know.
And because you've talked about your dad, and presumably he's a Nuneaton.
Yeah, well, he's yeah, same as me. Obviously, yeah, he loves it here, and if he had his way, that, you know, I probably wouldn't have gone to Solihull, or I would have come to Nuneaton before Solihull. So, but things happen, and but yeah, he loves it here. You know, he walks through the door and he has a beer, and you know, that's what it's all about on his doorstep. With my 2 kids and my wife and stuff like that. We've missed out as a family a lot because of, you know, staying in a hotel on a Friday night, for example, on an away game, and then getting back late on a Saturday.
You've got to have said that you've done that in your career, haven't you? It's lovely, and you know, even as a football commentator, when Nuneaton were in the National League, all games had to have commentary. So I'd be at Luton Town when they were in that division, and I'm like, wow, this is my moment. I'm never going to get, you know, Gary Lineker's job. And it's the same for a player, isn't it? Now, people won't know, but sitting in the room, and I'm not going to get him to say anything, is the manager and owner, Jimmy Ginelli. But I'm going to put you on the spot, even though he's over there. Future Nuneaton manager? I mean, he's not going to last forever, is he, that Ginelli bloke?
No. Yes. You
heard it here first. Potential, but you've got an apprenticeship. I mean, you've got a great mentor in Jimmy and Andy as well.
Listen, you've got to learn off them people all along, and like you say, it's an apprenticeship. You got to climb the ladder. You've got to earn that respect. But listen, the relationship I've got with Jimmy, it's, we're on the same path. We know I'm not come here to step on anyone's toes, whether it's a coach, whether it's the captain, whether it's the manager, nothing like that. I've come here to win and be part of the process. And in years to come, if that lands on my lap and that's warranted, then, you know, happy days. It's got to be right for me. It's got to be right for the club. If that was the case, but listen, that's years away. That's not. You know, I want to be a manager, and if it's my hometown club like it is Jimmy's, fantastic. It's a great feeling. But if it's not, then that might be elsewhere. You know, I've got a great report at Solihull, and you know, that might be potential. You know, later down the line, but it's all about playing for me. Like I say, I could have probably took a coaching role at Solihull and gone through that process and stayed there, but I want to play, and you know, and like I say, I was playing every week, and, you know, still captain there, and I'm enjoying playing, and I want to see my boys want to see me play, and you know, the little ones just said, when are you going to score a goal, Daddy? They've not seen me score a goal yet. So
oh, you'll score some, I'm sure.
I'm open to, but this is, you know, this is my home. You know, I feel comfortable here. You know, walk through the door and people shake your hand. People, you know, it's good. It's just great to be back.
And you alluded to the atmosphere in the dressing room and on the training pitch. I mean, that takes some nurturing, you know, because again, in the past, players have perhaps fallen out of love with the club and fallen out with the club and the people within the club. But that's not the case now. There's a happy atmosphere. It's always better when you're winning. I mean, this time last year we were, you know, languishing in the bottom half of the table, bottom 3. So success breeds success. Any sponsors are going to want to be on board with this, because you start to get the coverage, the crowds come back, and you're going to bring a little bit more. Again, sponsors are going to see the ambition of the club, aren't they? So, oh, hang on a minute, you know, not needing to bringing players in. They're not breaking the bank to do it and then going to bankrupt the club. It's being done sensibly this time round.
No, most definitely. Another point you just touched on there about having a happy dressing room, and that's another thing the management do well, because, you know, you've got to sign the right character now these days, not just the right player. You might be talented, but you've got some character and personalities, because you want to work with nice people, you want to work with people, you want to see good faces every day, and that gives you a lift. You know, my signing, like everywhere I've been, and obviously I've been captain everywhere I've been, but you get to January, and if you're near the top of the table, it's like, okay, how can we freshen this up? How can we just give the lads a little boost to go, right, we're back in it now.
And it is good, you know, when you're in the dressing room. I remember when the club signed Marlon Harewood, you know, I mean, people are sitting and thinking, sitting next to an FA Cup semi-finalist with West Ham here.
No, we had it at Cheltenham. We got to January, and Danny Wright, bless him, you know, he's working tireless up front, but he was never going to get you 25-30 goals a season. He'll get you 10 to 15, and it dried up a little bit. So, you know, the single of intent. Okay, who's the top goal scorer in the league? Dan Holman, who was at Woking. Let's go and buy him. Bang, 30 goals winning in the league. It's that intent where you see someone coming through, you think, right, okay, the club are backing us now. You know, we're in it. I think at Solihull it's gone a little bit the other way, and you know, they took a little bit backward step with that, but they will eventually get it back. But with this club, I think it's just going to go there, and that's how I look at this signing. It's not to come in, you know, mess around with people, especially players, and so they get like jealous or whatever. It's you know, I'm coming to help. It's not.
And that's the thing as well, because a lot of players, especially in non-league, and those dropping out of the football league, come for one last payday, don't they? And you think, well, I'm a bit disappointed. There were quite a few that have come here, and you've thought, wow, we can see why you played at that level. You know, when Marlon Harewood's first touch, even at 36 years old, is unbelievable, and his vision and you know, some of his ability. And he did it for the right reasons. He didn't come for a payday. He came to help the club out. He clearly loved his football. He spent a season here. We're going to see that from you. You're not just here to make up the numbers, but the players, as you say, could look, and I mean, particularly the midfielders, could look and think, well, okay, so now the pressure's on me. I've got to keep the shirt.
I've done it in the past, you know, like, even though I've been captain everywhere I've been, when a midfielder walks through the door, you know, and that's another reason I'm still playing at 35, because, you know, every competition that's come in, you know, it drives me on. This is like me dropping down and going part time. Obviously, some of the boys got jobs, and this is my life. This is what drives me. Football, you know, it's my livelihood. So I'll be dragging every single one of them in the dressing room if I can with me. And
you need the depth of the squad. I mean, obviously people are going to look at it and think, oh,
look at the subs today. I think they've made a massive difference today in the game today. So the squad depth's got to be there. But you can't win titles with 11 players. It's impossible.
And in terms of, I mean, of all the positions, midfield is, you know, you've really got to have an engine, and that gets harder as you get older. And yes, you can sit in front of the back four or the back three and be a holding player. Do you see yourself maybe dropping into that more central defence role in the end, just to extend your career?
Listen, I'm like I said, 35 now, and I'm playing centre mid in the National League week in, week out, and you know, in big games as well. So I can do a job there. I think my ability on the ball allows me to go and play, and my awareness allows me to go and play in midfield. You know, I'll be 36 in April, so I'd probably say no. Like, I'd rather stay in midfield. I like it in there. Do you know what I mean? There's more contact. There's more ability to open the game up. Listen, I'll play where the manager wants me to play at the end of the day, and as soon as I put the shirt on, you know, I'm his, and that's it.
And you're going to be a target as well, aren't you? Because whatever anybody thinks, this is a bit of a scoop, you know, at this level, for you to be coming out of the squad and still club captain at Solihull, to drop 2 divisions when, as you say, you've probably got another club at that level easily, maybe certainly the one below, but to no disrespect to this league, but to come in and be that player, there are other lads who are going to go, we know how to roll store. The referees aren't going to pick up on it. Your 100%. Shirt's going to be pulled.
100%, and that's for me and my mindset to know how to use that, and I think all my experience now can, but I think that also helps us, because if people are watching me all the time, you know, there's some very good players out there, and if they've got an eye on me, then that helps us, doesn't it? Obviously, you know, we've got, you know, people like Steno, Benbow, you know, Beswick today, you know, been brilliant last few weeks. So if people are eyeing up me, then, you know, they're taking their eye off other people, so I think that can only help us as well.
And how are you, because again at this level, and I know it creeps into the divisions above, but less so, how are you with the 4G pitches and you know, the bumpy pitches and the, I mean, you've been there before, but there's more of it now. I mean, you're going to find that you're going to go to away games and we're on 4G.
Yeah, to be fair, there's 3 or 4 in the National League. You know, a better surface for me helps my passing, helps my ability to find a through ball and stuff like that. So, you know,
not bad on the knees then.
Not too bad. No, it's okay. Yeah, just not too many slide tackles on it with your grass burns and stuff like that. But yeah, not too bad. We train on it quite regularly when the pitches are bad. We got one at the stadium and one at the training ground at Solihull. So yeah, fairly used to it. So it's not too bad.
So by the time you come back into the team, what will there be, a dozen games left maybe, perhaps a few more. Do you set yourself targets, goal scoring targets, achievements? You know, staying on the pitch would be one that I'd set you. You know what I'm saying there, but do you have any kind of things that go through your mind?
No, not really. Listen, it'd be great to score in front of my boys and stuff like that, but you know, not many individual achievements. It's all about collective and team. It's mine is promotion. If I can help in any way, shape or form to lift that trophy at the end of the season and get us into the Conference North, then that's achievement. That's got goal ticked.
Well, look, you know, I speak on behalf of Nuneaton fans now, how delighted we are to see you back. It's a pinch myself moment. Sorry I got it wrong the first time when Ian Neal asked me. You know.
Okay. There's a few got it wrong.
Always happy to be proven. I don't know, maybe you were just having an off day, or I was looking the wrong way. But it's great to have you back. The sponsors, the fans, Jimmy, everybody involved in the club, the whole community, and your family are going to be delighted. You're going to see a little bit more of it. Maybe that's a bad thing, I don't know. But you're going to be home early, aren't you? And good luck with your business as well, because I know that's obviously something that you're looking into. But welcome back.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Dave. Good to be back. Thank you very much.